What's happening with Facebook and blogs and Twitter and all of these things happening and converging at the same time, there's no stopping the trend of consumers wanting to talk to each other, and we've always been wired that way as human beings. In the financial services space, there's no doubt that word of mouth has always played the most significant role in customer acquisition. As I think about it, I personally work with Raymond James, and I've had a phenomenal experience with my advisor, Carlos. And Carl is someone that I really trust, and I've grown to really trust. And I've since turned Carl on to many prospective clients and say, you can trust this person. Here's how he's different. I've assessed other financial advisors, and I feel good when I'm doing that. I feel good about telling my friends to use him. So, you know, with financial services, at the end of the day, for financial advisors, word of mouth is going to play the most significant role. And whether it's a product or a service or a person, fleshing out the unique attributes of that service and how consumers think about it are incredibly important. And I predict that within several years, this is going to revolutionize the financial services industry, specifically with financial advisors, because there is so little transparency today. And if you think about it, for a financial advisor, this is a huge, huge blessing, because if they can start to collect a lot of content from high net promoters like myself for Carl and get that content in a digital form, then it's going to permeate SEO. It's going to help them out on Google and Yahoo and Bing. It's going to permeate their website, where ultimately they can host that content and everybody coming in can see it. And there's a lot higher leverage than me just having one conversation with one local person in Austin, Texas, when it goes online. Well, they have been slow to adopt, and part of it is that their industry is in a massive amount of change right now, and so they've got their eyes on a lot of different balls. I think that ultimately you're going to see a massive movement in the next 2 years. That would be my prediction. We're starting to see that happen. And you know, today Bazaarvoice has 590 clients globally, so we have some credibility in saying that we're going to see that movement happen pretty quickly. I absolutely do. I mean, as soon as they get the first recommendation from a friend from fabeetle, and we see this pattern where people ultimately contribute more content once they're getting value from the content themselves. Just like when I tell someone about Carl, they end up using Carl, they also have a good experience. They're very incentivized to then pass it on and tell their friend about Carl. And the same thing is going to be true with your site, where as soon as you start to create that network effect, as soon as you start to get more and more people on there reviewing financial advisors, it's going to catch on like wildfire, because there is no place that people can go today where it's a centralized source for reviews on all financial advisors, and you know, questions and answers that people would have about using their services, and just other forms of word of mouth that ultimately allow them to select a financial advisor. It's coming fast, it's going to be very transformative, and it's going to happen you know, at an accelerated pace here, much faster than people think that it will ultimately happen. Because there is no place that people can go today where it's a centralized source for reviews on all financial advisors.